Hi, I am Dr. Kanika, board certified internal medicine physician, author, and I threw myself off. And health equity and workplace inclusion consultant. So I am dropping in with some gems, some of the things that have been said to me on my journey in all these white spaces. And so today, hair as a Black woman factors in so prominently in everything. We could do a whole discussion just about hair, right? All of it, but we won't. But when I was here last time, I talked about how my natural hair, my afro, how that was a point of contention when I was in medical school. So also when I was in medical school, I actually stopped, my fro got really big. And I got to a point I was tired of people touching it and that kind of thing. And also when I would be on call in the middle of the night and you have to wake up in the middle of the night, like my fro would be flat on one side and I have to run to a patient's bedside and I have to puff my fro back up, so it wouldn't be flat on one side. If you're white, you may not get this, but if you're a Black person and you've worn your hair natural, you know what I'm talking about. So I decided I needed something that was a little bit more low maintenance, didn't take quite as much work to maintain, and I decided I wanted locks. I wanted dreadlocks, and so that's what I have. I have these dreadlocks. I started these in medical school, and I love, love, love my hair. And I've been around the block enough to know that there are plenty of other people who love, love my hair. Like, I have no doubts that this right here, yeah, I like it. However, because I'm a Black woman in a world that is not really ready for me and set up for my success. When I was a medical student, I was doing my clinicals. So clinicals mean I was in the hospital. And when you're in the hospital, there's a team. So you have the medical student who's the lowest on the totem pole. That was me. And then you have your intern, and then you have your resident, and maybe a fellow, and then an attending. So I'm on this team, frequently the only Black person on any of these teams. Such is life. So I'm on the team, we're walking through the hospital, and my resident, who was an Asian woman, she turns to me and she says, first they asked me, like, what are you doing with your hair? Like, what's that? Oh, these are locks. Locks. What are locks? So, you go, you explain what locks are, dreadlocks, whatever. It's hair, it's a hairstyle. And she says to me, you don't work at McDonald's. Why would you want to have locks? Okay. Once again, I am not in a position of authority here, right? I'm a medical student, bottom of the totem pole. She just said something that was insulting, demeaning, degrading, said a lot about what she thought about Black people and locks, socioeconomic status, all the things, right? I said nothing. What could I say? To say something would mean that I would probably be verbally abused for the next couple of weeks, right? It would mean I would get a bad grade. It would mean that maybe I don't graduate. So I said nothing. And do understand that this was a group. So in this group, there were other students, there were other residents and interns who heard this. Nobody said anything. Nobody said, oh, that's inappropriate, or like, oh, you can't say that to her. No. I was asked, why do you want locks? You don't work at McDonald's. Yeah. So that's the experience of a Black person in white spaces. People say crazy shit to you all day, every day. No recognition of the fact that it's crazy. If you say something about it, then you become the problem. You become the angry person. You become the person who's not a team player, who's causing conflict, not the person who says things that are degrading and what we like to call microaggressions. Although I recently read somewhere somebody's like, there's nothing micro about this. You like to call it micro, but this shit hurts. If I wasn't comfortable in who I was, if I wasn't fully, like I said before, I'm a contrarian. So you not liking my hair, it's not for you. You equating me to saying like if I have locks, then like I shouldn't be a doctor. I should be working at McDonald's instead. Screw you, right? And so I don't want to leave you with the impression that it didn't affect me. Of course it affected me. It affected my interactions with her. It affected me feeling comfortable enough to ask questions. It affected my sense of self at that moment. It affected whether I felt comfortable enough to be a part of the team. Oh, it absolutely affected me. It also affected just that we when you can't say anything back and you internalize all this stuff, oh yeah, it affects you. It affects you. So that was just medical school. And I could give more and more examples, but I won't. But it's just to give you just a glimpse into the experience of Black people in these spaces.